So hopefully you've had time to think about how you want to go about in doing this, how you feel about it, the energy you want to put into it, and really have given it some deep thought. You've looked on the internal, the inward spiral, and have found yourself and have found reason to craft this. And so then we can move forward. So many of you will have different thicknesses as far as which stick you have for your wand. Don't laugh, I think it's clever, but I actually have a vegetable peeler. And for those of you who have found a very thin stick for your wand, and you really don't want to take off too much, this is great. And I will demonstrate. There she is. So you can see. It not only works on your carrots, it also works for your wand. On mine, however, mine has a lot to take down in certain areas. So I do have a knife so that I can whittle it down. And you want to take off these knobs here because they're going to hurt your hand. So you want to take those off and then assess which side you think is best suited for the handle. And then once you've done that, then you're going to hold it and you're just going to kind of figure how you want it to sit in the hand. So let's say like this, it's not comfortable, but like this it is. And so then this you could make a decorative piece, the way that you whittle and cut it. And then up here where your thumb is, you could maybe have another piece. Maybe cut it in a little to fit your thumb or do something along those lines so that when you hold it, it feels right. Get my hair out of the way so that it feels right and it sits right, because that's going to be important. Now, I'm not going to be able to finish my wand tonight, and I'm not expecting that you're able to finish it in one sitting either. I am waiting on a few special stones that I have, and I want to add to it. So I will have some stone inset in here, and I may even fasten some around the handle. But they are a part of the wand and a part of the energy that I want it to manifest and to have. So I will have to include another session when I do get around to obtaining my stones, and then I will show you the finished piece. So until then, have fun whittling down and making your wand. If it helps you, try to envision it during your meditation beforehand. Try to think of what it should look like or what you would like it to look like, because if it fancies you, you're more likely to put good energy into it. If you look at it and you really don't like it, it's all too easy to start putting negative energy into it, even when you're not consciously aware of it. So make sure that for you it's aesthetically pleasing, so that you just automatically put positive energy. You just look at it and just go, oh, it's so perfect, it's so beautiful, it's just what I had envisioned it would be. And then you won't set yourself up for failure. Hello and welcome. Session 3. We are going to embellish the wand. At this point, I have the wand as far as I can go as far as the carvings, or at least as far as I want to go. So I wanted to show you how, or at least how I'm going to embellish them. And then at least if you perhaps don't like the method exactly, maybe it will perhaps inspire you on a different method or to try your own way. So here's what I have. Let's go over stones. The stones that I've chosen are specifically for what I think I need. One of them being quartz crystal, which I'll show you here. I have the quartz crystal point. It's a bit, it's a lot cheaper if you get a broken point. And for my use, it's perfect because, as you can see, I've dremeled out and hollowed the handle, and so it's going to fit in the end of my wand, like so, like that. So you can see for my use, it really doesn't matter what the other end looks like because you're not going to see it. I really just need the stone for what it is, and that's for amplifying the other stones and the other energies in place. The next stone I have is the watermelon tourmaline. It's pretty rare, and if you can't see it, you can always look it up online. But it comes in many colors, but this one, the watermelon one, suggests the color. So it's green and then proceeds to a rose color. I love green, and I think it's just so unique as far as a stone by having this gradation in it. I think it's beautiful. But it also promotes luck, which I think I'm going to need. I think I'm going to need some luck. And success is the other one. And for my use, I'm actually going to put it into the point. And so I have, with the Dremel, hollowed out the point. And if I can get the right side, because I made it to go in one way, it's going to fit like that. So you'll see I'll have it in the end with my quartz crystal on the other end. I have two other stones I'm going to use. This one here, you probably can't see. It will look like marble. It's howlite. And let me see here. So the howlite is for the life force. I also have prayer beads that are howlite carved as human skulls. It may seem really creepy, but the human skull being the vessel for the human brain and of course for the human soul, it makes the skull a sacred item, especially among Tibetan monks where it is sacred, and they have holy items that are actually made of human skulls. And so having the skulls carved out of howlite, not only does it look like bone, and then with the gray veining, it fits in the right place. It looks like what you would see in the skull, the marks from birth where the skull grew together and formed. So not only does it look aesthetically pleasing and right, but the stone, meaning feeding the life force, kind of goes with it. And so what I've done is I've hollowed out 4 long points. So these are for north, south, east, and west. And then if you can see, I've drilled holes in them. Now I did this with a Dremel. I know I showed you in the beginning how to do it by hand. This would be very difficult to do by hand, and not to mention it wouldn't be as precise. So if you have a Dremel, it's certainly worth using for this. If you don't, I would suggest that maybe you ask and borrow one. It's really useful. Otherwise, you're going to be limited to what you can do by hand, which isn't going to be a whole lot for most people, unless you're a craftsman. That's different. But for the average person, I think it's going to be a lot more than you would want as far as work. So these are the howlite. These are beads. So there's a hole in there. And so what I'm going to do is thread through the hole and then thread it into either end here into those holes so that it fits kind of like that. It's going to be tighter. I just don't want to mash it in there and get it stuck. And they're just going to go all the way around. So, soothing, harmonizing, life force, that's how light. And then the next stone that I have here, I have it in a round bead. It's super tiny. Okay. This one, I always get the pronunciation wrong. So let me refer to it here. It is, where did it go? Where did it go? Bear with me just a minute. I want to make sure I get it right. Prehenite. So it's enhancing inner knowledge and will of the heart, which goes with what I want my wand to be. So you have the quartz crystal enhancing all of these stones. Will of the heart, inner knowledge, life force. These are all strengths that I want to have manifested in my wand. And you'll pick your own for your use that you feel best suits. So for the round, if I can get it in frame, here we go. You can see I have another set. There are 4. I just have them offset, so it's a little more decorative. But if you can see, if my camera will focus, there's a hole drilled, and then with the Dremel, it's inset. So these, of course, are beads, and they are going to fit inside, and they're going to inset a bit. I'm not going to mash it in there, but they're going to set in there like that. And I have these holes drilled all the way through, so they're all connected. They're little chambers that go through there. Okay. So if you want to do it the way that I'm doing it, I'll see if I can quickly show you how it's going to go together. I'm going to get my wire. Oh, great. It's just going to be an unruly mess. Here we go. Scissors, I find, cut better this size wire. May have to get some, actually. There we go. Finally. And the size that I'm using, 32 gauge, in case you're interested. Okay. Where'd it go? Here we go. These tiny beads are taking off on me. So what I'm going to do, is thread through. Okay. Let's see if I can get a little closer here. Try not to mash my things. I'm going to pull the ends around and pinch like that. And then I'm just going to twist it. Twist it around, like that. So now I have the bead. You can see it's on there. It's not going to go anywhere. So now with my bead on the wire, I'm going to thread it through one hole, and it's going to come out the other side. And we're going to pull her through, like so. So you can see there she is. I'm going to better position it so it's not showing that wire. I'm just particular on how I want things to look. And for this sake, I'm going to kind of mash it in, because I don't want it to come out. You can see right there, if it'll focus. There it is. So it only sticks out about halfway, just enough to cover the hole, so, you know, where the bead was drilled. So now you're thinking, okay, well, now what do I do with this other side? How do I tie this off? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get another one. Where did I put them? Ah, here we go. Have them here. Let me have to cut it. Oh. There we are. Get that off of there. Okay. So the other side, I'm going to thread it through. Okay. Now holding the other side, I'm going to see here. I'll pull the other side out just enough so I can get it through. And then I'll show you right here. You can see right here, there's the other end. So I'm going to pull it through. You can see I have these two here. So before I tighten this, I want to get, I'm pulling the wrong one. I want to get the one I threaded first in first. Okay, because I just wanted to lift it so I could get this one through. And now I'm going to pull tight the other one. And I'm going to try to position it so that it's showing in a good way, and it's just going to be difficult for me. It keeps turning just to make sure it's not in the way I'm trying to make it. Just work for me. It's not going to. Da-da. This is going to be a long video of me wrestling with this wire. Not what I had intended for you. But so will be your woes. Unless you really don't care about particular things, then no, then it won't bother you. This is just gonna be extra tricky. Oh, did I win? Oh, yes, I won. It's so rare. I never win. Okay. So I have it exactly how I want it. You can see there's 1 and 2. And I have the rest here, and you're thinking, okay, well, now what do I do with this? So you're going to pull it tight, and you're just going to wrap it around this other bead. Hold it if it starts to try to wiggle on you. What I want to do is I want to twist it around the head of the other bead, but do it so that it's down inside. I'm trying to tie it off, per se, is what I'm really trying to do. And this could take some maneuvering because it keeps trying to evade me. Okay. All right. And then once you think you have it to where it's gonna stay put, then you can cut the wire. For the howlite side, for these grooves, you're gonna do something very similar, but you have 2 holes to deal with. So you're gonna thread it through, and you're gonna loop both ends. Instead of doing one end, like with the bead, we just did one end and twisted it. With the howlite, I'm going to do both ends and put it through kind of like a staple. So both ends come out the other side. And then I'm going to thread the other one in on one end of the howlite. is where I'm going to twist it and tie it off and then try to tuck it in. Okay, so that's something I really don't want to do in video. It might take some finagling, but once it's all done, I'll show you what it looks like.